unfortunate. All right, Tom, thanks so much. And we're still checking things out all across Central Florida. We're going to head to Oviedo next with one of our teams there. Jeremy Nelson is on the ground. Jeremy, what can you show us?
Hey, here's the setup here, which we've seen across much of the metro area. Let's take a look behind us here. One of these huge old oaks came tumbling down, and we talked to the couple that lived in a home nearby. That came down at 6 a.m. this morning, and they just packed up their stuff and took off for the night because they said there's really no hope of getting power back here because we have power lines strewn all across West Magnolia Street, and these power lines are not only down there, but we also had another tree come down over this house right here, and when that one came down, it took one of the cables that was in this yellow house here, just pulled it right out. So some power issues in this neighborhood, and when we were driving down here from Sanford, once we got into the Oviedo area, what we noticed was there was about a 6 to 8 stretch block close to this neighborhood. There was really no power anywhere, and the street lights were out, and we've talked to a lot of neighbors around here, and they've kind of been experiencing the same thing. They're like, well, we don't know when the power will be back, but this street, we've been in a lot of places today. This is probably one of the messiest we've seen, with numerous old trees down, some tree branches down, and a lot of wires. So again, we're in Oviedo. We'll continue to monitor things here. The rain has let up quite a bit, but one thing that we've noticed here, there's still some wind gusts that are topping 30 miles per hour. So again, as you guys have been alluding to, you know what? If you don't have to go out this evening, you can just watch from the comfort of your home. Certainly do that. Live for WESH 2 News, I'm meteorologist Jeremy Nelson. Back to you.
Yeah, Jeremy, before you go, I just wanted to let folks know Jeremy's on loan for us, hurricane relief from the upper Midwest. So so far in all the reporting you've done, what's going to be the lasting impression that you're going to take away from here?
I think the lasting impression will be just how kind of rugged residents are around here, and just how they take the warning seriously. When we left the station early this morning, they were heeding to the warnings. We went out on the highway, and we're just around Orlando. We weren't even near the coast, and it was very deserted, just a couple cars out there. We spoke to one police officer who just said, hey, we really urge you, use caution when you're out, because when we're talking to, we mentioned that we're from Wisconsin. This is kind of the first tropical storm or hurricane we've been through, at least tropical storm force winds here. And he said, hey, take it easy. And you know what? I think I met one of my friends from Wisconsin, because that gentleman that I mentioned down here that lives in this house, he said this was his first hurricane. He's lived in Florida 5 years, and his wife started laughing because she's like, well, I was through Charlie in 2004. She's been a lifelong resident. So you get the perspective here. You get transplants. They're down here. They think, wow, this is a pretty big storm. And then people that have been here their whole lives, they respect the power of Mother Nature, and they see, well, maybe this one wasn't quite as strong, but there may be more hurricanes in the future.
So, Jeremy, how is this different for you, covering the hurricane versus big snowstorm where you're from?
I really love warm weather, so I think I would rather be talking about things tropical, because standing next to Lake Monroe, when the waves were huge, when we were in Sanford earlier, the winds were hitting maybe 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's actually a lot better than standing next to Lake Michigan in the winter when the wind chill is 20 below zero and the wind is like 30 miles an hour. So, you know what? This felt pretty good this week.
I get that. I'm a Pennsylvania transplant. I don't want to go anywhere. I know what you mean, bud.
Hey, Jeremy, Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi. So what you're telling me, if I'm hearing you right, is when we have that next big blizzard or whiteout, you're not going to request somebody from sunny Orlando to come help you guys out, right?
I think what I'll do is I'll request Eric Burrish, because I know Burrish wants to come up there and help us out.
Hey, you can have him just for a couple of days. No, we're just kidding. We love him.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice,
right.
Tony. All right. Jeremy, thanks so much. Appreciate the fresh perspective on things. That's pretty neat.
And we got some new video, too.